Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and we have another hobby table episode. A couple of days ago I did release a mini hobby table which focused on a couple of vampire figures from Archvillain Games. So go and watch that episode if you want to have a look at these models. Now I did a little mini episode on just focusing on these because I wanted to talk about the speed paints as well. So I'll put a link at the top here so you can go and see this mini hobby table. But let's get those out of the way. I do apologize, it's been a while since the hobby table. I think it's been a couple of months. I have been busy doing a lot of stuff. And I'm gonna try, I think I've said this before, I'm gonna try to do more. I'm gonna try to release more videos and do more stuff. Well, I am really going to try. Now, what have I been doing that I can tell you about in this hobby table episode? Well, this is my my playlist, my series, where I basically show you what I've been doing, both in terms of games, in terms of miniatures, in terms of the hobby, for your interest, but also maybe to raise awareness of certain things that I'm doing that maybe you guys are interested in. Certain miniatures, certain games, certain projects. Yeah. So I have actually been quite busy. I did the Halloween special. We did this game here, Vampire Alone in the Darkness. I hope you guys watched and enjoyed that series. Something a little bit different. It's designed as a solo RPG, but you can play with other people, either with or without a games master or referee. And I had a lot of fun with this. I think I did, I think four episodes of this, or maybe 5. But I really had a lot of fun. So I've got the rule book here. I've got all of my character sheets and map sheets and everything else that I use. So I'll be keeping this all together. So if in the future I want to continue, I will. I have all the stuff there. Also my little journal book. Now, I'm actually keeping this because I'm expecting the guys at 101 Games to release their other products in English at the start of next year. So I'll be using the same journal for those games as well, just to keep it all together. And I also made a bunch of custom tiles for map making, some custom cards for some of the information that I needed. So yeah. This is one of the things that's been keeping me busy. I had a lot of fun. Now, I don't think I was the best solo player. I don't think my games had a lot of storytelling and stuff like that. But I hope it gave you guys a good impression of what the game is. I did enjoy it, and I think before this, I played a game called Ronin, which is RPG-esque. But I'm thinking of also moving into that genre of games as well for the channel. Yes, solo RPGs, things like Scarlet Heroes, maybe things where I'm using existing sets like RuneQuest, Slay Industries, standard RPGs, but applying a solo Oracle or something to play those on my own. But again, something I need to work out, but I'm definitely interested in moving into that solo field as well. I also have promises from guys in Brazil who do some amazing games that there will be some more English language products coming out soon. And I do have one ready to go. Right. So yeah, this was the Halloween game that kept me busy for a while. What else? Well, let's take a look at some of the miniatures that I did manage to paint since the last episode in September. Okay, you may not remember this figure. This was in the last hobby table, but he was basically just primed, undercoated. He's finished now. This is my Uren's son from Rackham, and it is part of the Tordo faction, which is the dwarf faction, and they all have these kind of steam-powered engines. This guy has a steam generator on his back. He has a steam gauntlet, and yeah, the guy's pretty big. He's kind of ogre size. But yeah, I had a lot of fun painting this. I really did have a lot of fun. Let me just get the board. Maybe this will give a better... Maybe that will give a better picture, will it? Oh, I've got the problem with that light again, haven't I? The light seems to be reflecting off the black. Okay, we'll try without it. But yeah, this miniature was a lot of fun to paint. I think I did a decent job. Again, watching these episodes, you have to understand I am not a pro painter. I am not a quality painter. I am tabletop quality painting. It's a chance for you guys, a lot of you guys who maybe aren't such good at painting, to kind of see, you know, what we can do. Not what the good guys can do, not what the top quality painters can do, but what can we do for tabletop quality? But yeah, this is a really nice model. I've got this one done. I'm going to be using him soon in a game. So you'll see him then, as long as you stick to the channel and watch all the movies, watch all the videos. You'll be seeing this guy in an upcoming video fairly soon, an upcoming game. So yeah, this is the Uren's Son by Rackham. What else do we have? Right, next up on the painted list. Finally got painted, yeah. These are from Bestiarum, and these are from, I think, I can't remember what it said it was, but I featured these in the last episode of Hobby Table. And again, back then they were basically just undercoated, but again, look, they're painted. Now, on the camera, these guys look bloody... They look really, really vibrant. Trust me, in real life, they're not as vibrant as they look on the camera. My God, on the camera, that red looks really, really, really red. It's not that bad, honest. In real life, the reds are a lot less shiny. Now, these are the Bestiarum figures. These ones here are the Scythians. It's one of their undead sets. This guy's got his guts hanging out. And again, the red looks really, really ruby red. It's not, again, the camera seems to be making it really vibrant, but it's not actually that vibrant. It's not really working that well. Let's have a butcher's here. Here we go. That looks a bit better. That's a better representation of what it actually looks like. So yeah, I had 6 of the basic undead and then 6 of the possessed undead, all made up, and they were all primed. But like I say, now I've actually got around to actually painting them. I haven't painted undead for a very long time. So in 5 Leagues from the Borderland, you can actually come across undead in delves and things. So I needed to kind of have some ready. So yeah, I've got these done. So I did 2 of that model. There are 3 different designs, so I did 2 of each model. So here's the... Again, sorry, I'm using my hand instead of the black card because it seems to show off the models a lot better when I use my hand as the background. I do apologise. The blue, yeah, the blue is a little bit vibrant. I use the speed paint magic blue, I think, for the blue on these. Maybe I should have toned it down a little bit. Yeah, but I did 2 of these guys. And then I did 2 of this design. Now, looking back, I think maybe I should have just done 1 of these because this looks like a kind of leader model. But again, it came out really nice. Now, for these guys, the speed paints actually weren't too bad. I mean, I've been complaining about the speed paints, about how they don't do what they say on the tin and stuff. But I actually found for these guys, the blue, also the metals, I put like a silver base coat and then I painted over with speed paints. Actually worked out quite nice, but I'm still having problems with the pallid bone that doesn't look like bone. It looks bloody orange. And also, if you see the straps, okay, the strapping here at the bottom of the leg, like bandages or strappings. Yeah, it looks grey, doesn't it? Yeah, well, the thing is, I used holy white on that, and it just came out flat grey. There was no shading, no highlights. It just came out grey. I shook the bottle a lot. I really did shake that bottle. So I don't know what's going on with holy white. After that first use, when I did the spider base, after then the holy white just hasn't been doing anything. It's just been coming out as grey. So I don't know what's happened to that. I might have to check that. But yeah, so I did 6 Scythians. Whoops. By Bestiarum. So there's 3 different designs in the set. I did 2 of each. There are also possessed Scythians. So these are like possessed undead, where they've got this kind of creature taking over the body. Now again, that red, oh my God, that red looks really vibrant. It's not. Again, let's just take a look. Again, there's 3 different designs. I did 2 of each. So let's, okay. That's better. That's a more realistic representation of what the red actually looks like. Now compare that red to that. I don't know, something wrong with my camera settings maybe. Oh, but yeah, this is actually better. I use Slaughter Red speed paint on this with a little bit of highlight with red and orange. And again, they came out quite nice. Again, they all come with different bases. I put the bases on top of plastic bases because, again, I'm a little bit suspicious that maybe the resin might get sticky on my glass shelves in the cabinet. So that's that. Just 2 of them. And then there's 2 of these. Now, one of these, the weapon and the arm actually broke off. When I was reaching for another model, I actually clipped it and the arm snapped off. That's one of the problems that you'll get when you do 3D printing in resin. Unless you get maybe some of the more expensive, more flexible kind of resins. If you use a sort of bog standard cheap resin, it's going to be very brittle. So that's the other one. So I've got 2 of them painted. And then the last one, again, we've got 2 of these. And again, I'm really happy with the Magic Blue speed paint, I have to admit. The Slaughter Red was also really, really nice. Bit dark, but the Slaughter Red actually came out very, very nice. So yeah. So there are 12 figures there that I have painted from Bestiarum. Another little job that kept me busy. I have one more set of figures that I have been painting up. Let me show you those. Right, the other figures that I've been painting are these 15mm Vikings, and these are from Essex Miniatures. I actually bought the DBA Army Pack, and I also got a bunch. Who's it from? I think it was from MY Miniatures. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I basically took a bunch of figures from that set and from the Vikings that I have, and I wanted to individually base these, not base them on unit bases like you do in DBA. So I've painted these up, and these are going to be for another one, another upcoming game. So we have a bunch of Vikings now. With these guys, again on the camera, this I don't know what's wrong with my camera settings. I'll have to check it and see, but the bases look really orange. They're not that orange in real life. Let's see if it will focus. Yeah, see, they're not that orange in real life. It's okay. But yeah, these are, I used speed paints and I did some highlighting. And it hasn't come out too bad. Now, there are a few colours which didn't really work that well. They're mainly the darker colours, but I used blood red for the cloak. Again, magic blue for the clothing. Runic grey for the hair, the beard, and the sort of leggings. So yeah, this is my Viking leader. I think it was pallid bone. Was it pallid? I think I used pallid bone for the flesh and then highlighted with like my normal flesh colour. Again, it's coming out actually quite nice. The base is just like a 1-cent coin covered in sort of a putty. Yeah, so that's the leader. We have a couple of standard bearers. Now for these guys, I used on this one here, I used Grim Black speed paint for his cloak, but I had to do extensive highlighting because it really came out badly. Got an army painter, what do they call them? Flock things? Can't remember what they're called. So yeah, there's that one. And then this one, I used was it Gravelord Grey, I think, for the cloak. Didn't have to do anything. So like I said, the speed paints tend to be a mixed bag at the moment. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones. I've had some viewers recommend, was it Slapchop and Zenithal? I mean, I have tried those things, but I don't really want to overcomplicate my painting process because I take so long to paint anyway. All these extra doodads and bits and pieces, it's just going to make sure I paint even less. But the thing is that speed paints, it says on the box, no one-stop solution, which isn't really the case. So yeah, I've done eight Vikings, again, for a game that I kind of have planned. Again, they came out quite nice. I can do a better job on them. I can do a better finish, but like I say, I've got so much stuff to do, so much figures to paint and games to play and record. I don't want to spend excessive time. Yeah, see the runic grey. I really like the runic grey speed paint. It really does work really nicely. Tufts. Are they called flock tufts, grass tufts, or whatever they're called from Army Painter? Yeah, I just put a few of those on. So yeah, now I mean the reason, I mean these are for a game that I have planned, but the reason why I was painting them now, because I don't think I'll be doing this game anytime in the real near future. But the reason that I was doing this now was that when I was painting the other figures, like the Bestiarum figures, sometimes I would mix up or sort of squeeze out just a bit too much paint. So instead of wasting like the last little bits of paint, I'd actually use it on these figures. So, I mean, because, you know, with the squeezy bottles, you know, you've got to squeeze out, and sometimes you squeeze out too much, or, you know, you misjudge it, and there'll be a little bit left, and rather than just waste it, like I say, I was using it on these guys. So these are 15mm Vikings. Oops, sorry, hit the microphone. Yeah, I am testing out a wireless microphone for this video, so we'll have to see how it goes. But these are 15mm Essex miniatures. They're Vikings, and like I say, it's not the way that I normally paint my 15mm, but the results are such that I may change. So there you go. Right, that's all I've really got painted. And like I say, the other two were the two vampires that I used in the solo RPG, which is in the other video. But as well as painting miniatures, I have actually been printing and basing and cleaning a whole bunch more. Let's take a look at those. Right, let's take a look at some miniatures that I've printed out and based up, ready for undercoating and painting. The first couple that I've done here, these are from Tordo minis. Now you can find Tordo minis on My Mini Factory. He does sort of War Master scale, sort of 10mm scale figures for War Master. These were actually in the what was it? The Skull God Army Pack, basically the Khorne Army Pack. But these are like a bigger version. So these are what they call Skull Swarms. I don't know where the swarm is, but I really liked the... it's like a floating skull with blood pouring out of its eyes down onto the ground. You've got skulls on the ground here. I thought these would be quite good, maybe as objective markers, maybe as some kind of spell effect. So I printed out two of these where basically on the printer build plate I had a little bit of space left. These took up hardly any space whatsoever. So I made two of these, based them up, and like I say, they'll be good for objectives, maybe as, like I say, spell representations and things like that. But yeah, I love it. I really like these ones. Next up, again, you may recognize this figure. I had printed her and the base on the previous hobby table, but now I've decided to actually fix her to the base before I actually undercoat. I was a little bit worried about the contact areas, but using resin, again, you can use super glue, but the contact area is so small, and I don't know, I don't have a lot of faith in super glue with areas that small. It tends to just snap right off. So I've actually used resin welding, where you put a bit of resin and then you use a UV torch to kind of... It has a similar effect to like two-part epoxy. When you use two-part epoxy, you do lose a little bit of detail where the resin goes, but it does provide a much stronger bond. So this is Gillian Red Soul. She is a sorcerer from the I think it's from the Archvillain Society, one of the character models you get in the sets. So again, let's see if the black background does a better job. Not really. But yeah, she's, I think she came with the Speak of the Devil Act 2 set. Again, I really like this model. I think the dynamic, like the book, where she's using magic to hold the book and turn the pages of the book, I think it's amazing. I think this is a brilliant sculpt, a really, really nice sculpt. The base is also really nice as well, with all the candles on the stone. So yeah, this is a really nice model. I'm looking forward to painting this. The only problem is it's a little bit small. Archvillain Games, their models, I think, are more towards the 25mm scale. So I don't know, maybe it might be worth scaling them up by 20% maybe next time. I don't know. I have to see. But yeah, so this is another one by Archvillain Games. What else do we have? Well, carrying on with Archvillain. You're going to see quite a bit of Archvillain in this episode. Next up, we have okay, I'm going to have to adjust the zoom 1 second. Let's go down to about there. There we go. So this is a Ganir Heart Troll. Now this guy was actually one of the first miniatures that I printed when I first got my 3D printer. I do have a video on that. I did a video where I sort of test printed a bunch of stuff to see, and this guy actually featured on there. But again, now I have actually based him up, ready. I've cleaned him, based him. He's now ready for undercoat and painting. I really like these models. These trolls are really, really characterful. And these are from the Nature's Wrath Ganir's Ancients set. You can see there's even like a bird nest on his back there. But yeah, these are really characterful models, really, really nice. Again, it may be a little bit small. Again, maybe scaling it up 20% wouldn't hurt, I don't think. But yeah, I really like this model here. What else have we got? Well, we also have 4 Awakened Ghouls. Now, these are from the Bloodrite Scarlet Scourge set, which is a very recent set. Now, there are four different designs. I printed one of each. I was anticipating maybe needing these for the Vampire Halloween game, but in the end, I didn't need any other figures, but I printed these out anyway. Now, these will be used for other things. But again, I've just got round to actually basing them up. So there's 4 different designs. And as I say there, I won't focus. The black background doesn't seem to work so well. So let's use my hand again, my lovely jubby hand. So these are Awakened Ghouls. Again, really, really nice design. Really nice features. Again, the base suits. I mean, this is a bit of a plain base, but it still works really well. So there's one. This is another one. Again, I just love the character that the guys at Archvillain put into these figures. I just wish they were a little bit bigger, because sometimes the weapons, the arms, the staffs are just that little bit too thin, and they can break off when you do the supports. Come on, focus. You're going to focus? There you go. Yes, that's 2. And we've got a couple of crouched ghouls as well. Again, I use the resin weld, unfortunately, because again, super glue doesn't seem to bond so well, for me anyway. And the last one, come on, focus, there you go, has a little sort of mouth design that's similar to, what movie was it? Was it one of the Blade movies, or was it one of the Underworld movies where the vampires had that kind of distended jaw design? Yeah, another one there. So these are Awakened Ghouls, 4 of them. Now, all of the other miniatures that I have been busy printing, cleaning, and mounting have actually been for a game. Let's take a look. Okay, what you see here are all the figures. I think I'm missing, I think there's one where I'm going to be using an existing miniature, but these are the basic figures for Archvillain Games' new game called BattleRune. Dum dum dum, BattleRune. The rules are currently in alpha state. They have been distributed, I think, through their Patreon. I do have to apologise to Vaughn at Archvillain Games. When I downloaded and printed out the rules, I did have a read through them as I was watching the football and stuff. And me being sort of a teacher and having that kind of OCD where I kind of have to make notes and stuff, I made a list of notes and things and questions and whatever, sent it off to Vaughn. Yeah, as it stands, the BattleRunes, it's not really in a state to really play at full use yet, because I mean these are the recommended sort of starting armies. There's 4 Sisters of the Black Wood, or Black Moon, sorry. You've got Saladrin's Hunters. You have, who else? Hammond the Valiant, Thorn Bounty Hunter. This is Eloriel, Mage of the Crescent, and then this is actually one from the characters, which I might use as one of the champions, because what you do is you basically have, I think it's like, I can't remember who goes you through, but it's kind of like this. If I remember correctly, I think this force has 1 extra figure because the Sisters were less points than the Hunters. So you'll choose a force based on points, and then you'll assign a champion to each side. Like I say, I think for one of them, I'm probably going to be using this model here. This is Zinnia Hammond, War Priest of Saladrin. I'm useless with names. But I have another Archvillain Games figure that I'll be using as one of the other champions. But basically, with these sort of starter armies that I've printed and based and everything, I can't really play them and test out the game because I have a bunch of questions relating to the abilities and things like that. So I'm waiting to hear back from Vaughn and Archvillain Games in terms of the questions that I put and posted up or sent to him. But yeah, these are basically Archvillain Games. I think there are 2. These 2 here are from the Sinister Vault, which is kind of like the free welcome pack when you join the Patreon. Now, in my folder of the Sinister Vault, these are actually given different names. I think the Archvillain Games are actually planning to change their names. This one here that looks like a cleric, like I said, the one that I downloaded when I first joined the Patreon, I think he's called Garl the Cleric. He's going to be renamed to Hammond the Valiant, and then this guy. This used to be Alcuin the Witch Hunter. Yeah, his new name is going to be Thorn the Bounty Hunter. So these guys are from the Sinister Vault, which is the free pack you get when you join the Patreon. Really, really nice figures. But I've had to actually put a bunch of extra layers of resin on this mace handle because it's so thin. I'm terrified of this actually breaking during painting. What you see here is not the thickness of the weapon when you print it out. I don't know why it has a white film on it. But I've had to actually, maybe from where I've been doing the extra UV. Yeah, because I've put some extra resin on that handle. It actually came off, the supports bent like that. So I may have to apply a little bit of hot water and straighten it. But I've applied a few extra layers of resin to the mace handle, and then use the UV torch to sort of harden it, because I'm really worried that thing's going to break off. It's so fragile. Also, the shield and the bottom of the robes here are also really, really thin. I mean, it's a nice model, but like I said, I'm a little bit worried about that. The Bounty Hunter or Witch Hunter. Again, really, really nice model. I've actually mounted this guy on, I think it's a Naggaroth base. I had a spare Naggaroth base. I didn't really like the base that this guy comes with, so I put him on a different base. Yeah, again, really, really nice. And then we have, like I say, the rest of the figures. Now, like I say, this is basically what you're going to need if you use the sample armies in the BattleRune rulebook as it stands at the moment. This is one of the Mage of the Crescent. This is from the current Moondance Gate to Argantos set. I think there's 4 different designs. This is the one that I chose to do to begin with. Her weapon actually broke. The tip of the weapon actually broke off. This is supposed to be like a scythe. So it's actually supposed to have, come on, focus. It's actually supposed to have a much longer blade down here, but it snapped off when I was removing the supports. So I've kind of made the best of a bad job and kind of, come on, I've sort of sharpened the edge of the bit that was left. But it's a really nice model. I do like this. Yeah, so this is going to be a special character in one of the armies, the sample armies. This one here, this is Zinnia Hammond. Again, this is one of the special characters you'll get, the Archvillain Society that you'll get with the Moondance set. Again, really, really nice. And again, I love the base. The base that comes with this model has like spell books and candles. Really, really nice. So yeah, again you'll notice the weapon half, the weapon handle, I've applied more resin because it's just so fragile it's going to break. Like I say, I wish the weapons were a little bit thicker. What else have we got? Okay, so over here we've got 4 Sisters of the Black Moon, and over here we have Celedrin's Hunters. Now, the Sisters, I've actually had to put on 30mm bases because the bases that they come with have these protrusions. There's like steps on the end. Oops, sorry. These steps on the end. So they would overhang a 25mm base quite badly. So I actually put these on 30mm bases. Now, these figures are extremely dynamic, and you'll notice they have very big hair. Now, this could be a problem because that's a lot of resin and it's only joined at that small pigtail point. So be very careful with the hair on all of these sisters because that can easily stress and break. Another problem is that a couple of them only have a single foot to fix to the base. So you don't have a huge contact area. Again, I had to use the resin, and again, it's obliterated a bunch of detail. I tried pinning, but I don't have a. I think the smallest drill bits I have are 1mm, and that was too big. I just couldn't drill it. There was just not enough space. So that's one little problem. I've got to be extremely careful with a couple of these figures. I'll show the other one afterwards. And again, this weapon actually broke off. So I had to try and fix it. Again, you notice it's not exactly straight. All the damage that happened to these, the weapons breaking and everything else, happened when I was removing supports. And I was extremely careful to remove the supports before I cured it. So, but it's a lovely figure. So that's the first sister of the Black Moon. Here is the second. Now this one I'm extremely worried about because that contact point to the base is minuscule. Ugh, I know this is going to break at some point. Also, she has this kind of Gorgon, Medusa style of hair, all these braids. And again, a couple of them broke off when I was trying to remove supports. Not preferable. But yeah, it's a lovely enough figure. The third sister is this one here. Again, big hair. Be careful with the hair. But a nice design. She's balancing on the tip of this log. Again, the bases are really nice. I love the Archvillain Games bases. You know, they really are a really nice set of designs that you can use for other models. When I won the Creality painting contest with the Tabaxi, I think it was from Printed Obsession, I actually used an Archvillain Games base because they're just, they're lovely. I love them. So that's the third sister. And the fourth sister is this one here. Again, big hair. But again, nice, really nice. Full of design, full of details, full of design. Really, really nice jobs. Love them. Really nice. I mean, with the right paint job, these could also maybe represent witch elves in a dark elf army. Very nice. Right, and the last ones are the... Again, I don't think I'm pronouncing this name right. Celadren's Hunters. Now, again, there's 4 different designs, and in the sample army, in the BattleRune book, they do say there's 4 of these guys. Now, I really, really, really like these guys. The design is amazing, and it comes out so crisp. I didn't have many problems with these at all in terms of printing or breakages. Even the bow came out perfectly well. And the arrow's still pretty straight. And again, I love the bases. These bases actually remind me of a bunch of, is it Skybore bases that I have? The resin bases from Skybore. Really nice. Yeah. Again. So these are, I don't know if they're supposed to be satyrs or fawns or something like that. But really, really nicely detailed. I'm really looking forward to painting these ones especially. Maybe more so than the sisters. So that's the first hunter. Second hunter, again, really, really nice. If you have a wood elf army, I'm pretty sure you can find a space for these. Really, really nice. The third hunter, who I think is the leader, because he's got the biggest horns. He's got the biggest horns, but again, really, really nice. Now again, I had to be really careful with the weapons. They're so thin right at the ends. I had to be so careful cleaning these ones up. But yeah, really, really nice model. And then the last one, again, has a very small contact point. So I'm going to have to be very careful with this guy. So this is the last hunter. As you can see, he's only got 1 foot on the ground. So it's a very small contact area. I mean, it's bigger than the sisters because the hoof, his hoof at the bottom is bigger. But still, I'm a little bit worried about this. I was also a little bit worried about the sort of balance of this guy, because I was trying to position him on a more sort of backward point to make him more stable, but it just wouldn't go flat on the sort of head on the base. So this was the best position I could get to actually get a good contact point, but he kind of leans forward a bit. So I don't know. He seems to be okay, but if worst comes to worst, I can always put a couple of coins underneath the base to add a little bit of weight. But yeah, really, really nice. Really, really nice. Right, so those are all the figures. I mean, oops, covered the microphone again. I've got to get used to this wireless microphone. I hope it's picking up my voice okay. I'm testing it out because I want, especially for like when I'm doing the bigger miniature games where the camera's so far away, I want to get, like I said, I wanted to get one of these wireless microphones so that I can get a better reception. But I'm testing it out today to see if it works. But yeah, as you can see, I have been very busy painting, printing, basing, and everything else. I've also got a bunch more games coming up, which again I've been preparing for. 5 Leagues from the Borderlands will probably be the next, either the next one I'll be recording or maybe within the next 2 or 3 that I'll be recording. I've got to get back to 5 Leagues. It's been too long. I think it's also been about 2 months. I do apologise. It's been so long since I've been doing 5 Leagues. I've got to get back into that. And I've got to get back into the miniatures games. I've been having too much fun with the the roll and write, the RPGs, the dungeon crawlers. I've been having too much fun with those. But I do have to get back to the miniatures games as well. So I've got 5 Leagues coming up soon. Space Station Zero will also be coming up soon. I'm also planning tabletop papercraft video on building a new sort of terrain set for that. I've been doing a bunch of Note Quest recently. That's been going down well with the viewers. Of course, I've been making mistakes, and I love the fact that everyone's coming along saying, "You did that wrong. That's not how it goes. You're wrong." I love it. I love it. I love it because this is a way for us to learn together. I don't know the rules 100%. I don't know all the games 100%. And it's great that we are learning together. We're learning all the different rules together. It's so easy to misread or miss something. But again, most of the games that I'm doing are solo, so it doesn't matter. Nobody's there to see you, unless you record and put it on YouTube, of course. Now, NodeQuest, I have one more episode already recorded. I'm going to be editing that one soon. I think that's episode 13. I might take a break from NodeQuest to focus on some other games like 5 Leagues. We'll have to see how it goes. What else do we have? Well, I mean, NodeQuest is by a Brazilian designer. Vampire was by a Brazilian designer. There's a lot of great games coming out of Brazil. And I have another one by another designer, another Brazilian designer, coming up very, very soon. What else? Todd Sanders games. We've got some card games, some print and play games. I've also got a couple of Kickstarter games. Not the expensive ones. Calm down. It's not from Come On. I can't afford the shipping for physical games. But I've got a whole bunch more stuff coming up. So this was just a quick look into my hobby table, so you can see what I'm doing, what I'm using. I also hope it's a good resource for you guys to actually see, you know, what the miniatures actually look like without having to just rely on the renders on the company pages. You can actually see them in real life. Also, maybe in terms of the painting. So you don't get disheartened by looking at all the wonderful paint jobs that some of the other YouTubers do. Just come to my channel and see the bog standard average paint jobs. Okay. So yeah, that's what I've got on the table at the moment. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. I wish I could paint faster. I really do. But there's a lot more coming. So stay tuned to the channel, guys. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. Would really appreciate that. I'm still trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Get this channel to start monetizing and paying for all this stuff. So guys, thanks again for watching. Please take care of yourselves and stay safe. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.